Hi, everybody. She said recording in progress. It's July 28th, 2021. And this is the Recruiting Animal Show. We've got a Recruiters Roundtable today because the guest canceled. It's his second time for canceling. Last time he canceled, I think, a day or two before the show. This time, a day before the show.
Just ban them.
He's eager to come on, but something's wrong there. Anyway, all these people have been guests, so I'm going to introduce them before we get going. Dualta down there in the corner, he was on, that was just last week, wasn't it, right?
Yeah, it was such a great experience. I came back to get more of your
I invited him to come back. What's your website? Quick.
Dildadarty.com.
What is it?
Oh, which one? I do a few different things.
Pick one.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Recwired. RECWIRED. He places recruiters. Okay. We just got India coming in, but first, Ivan. Ivan is promoting his own ATS, KLANG.SO. Yeah. Okay. Priya Shethna.
Hi.
I combined your two names. Okay. She met us a few weeks ago with her partner on business development. You want to give us your URL?
Yeah, it's yukicareers.org. yukicareersolutions.org.
That's too long. Okay. And finally, Elexis. I always say Alexis. Elexis Recruiting, right?
Yep, perfect.
Mario in India. Okay, let's get going.
Why do you have to mention India all the time? I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
In India.
What am I, racist now for saying where you come from? Give me a break.
I'm from India. I'm a Sri Lankan, okay?
Okay.
For the longest time, I thought you were like in Pennsylvania or something.
No, I recruited them.
Okay, now I'll say he's in Pennsylvania. I got to tell you something. I'm older than all of you, and to me, it's still a miracle that we can get together from different parts of the world and have a conversation. Okay, so the fact that he's from India, he's in Swiss. Okay, everybody, let's stop wasting time. Let's get to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
What about this? Everybody's keen on video. What about telling your clients if they're interviewing somebody remote, forget the video. It's too complicated. Just get on the phone. Anybody do that or want to comment? Ivan, go ahead. Ivan, go ahead.
You can the phone is just like much more influential than like video, in my opinion, and you can really focus on the content. So that's how, I mean, would probably not say that to a client. I mean, I do whatever they want, like primarily, right? But
okay, so in other words, you raised your hand, but you never say to your client, hey, you want Zoom, you want Google Meeting or whatever it is, forget about it. Just get on the phone. It's a lot easier. You know what? A year ago, anytime I needed a doctor's appointment, they set me up on their different platforms. Sometimes there was problems. Now they've all switched to just a plain phone. Okay, they don't have to see my face. That's my experience.
I disagree with Ivan.
Yeah.
If you can see somebody, you can hear them, you can look at how their facial expressions are. You get more out of that than a phone call. Like.
That's actually true. I'll agree with you guys.
Well, I mean, I'm a little bit on the fence with this, right? Because on one hand, we do want to take out the biases. I don't think I want the hiring manager to care what the hair or the skin color looks like. On the other hand, if it's more of a customer facing, very high, like service driven roles, yeah, I want to make sure they look presentable and they don't have like a teardrop tattoo.
Or they get on the
you mean here, like the
bun on the head?
Yeah, like a teardrop.
Yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
Especially in healthcare. People in healthcare care.
Yeah, they have a lot of tattoos. That's true.
Okay. Well, you know what? Hold on. What can you tell if the person's mentally ill or because you had someone? I mentioned that because you had someone with a challenge one day. Well, you came late for the show. I'll never forget that. Okay, but what can you tell? I mean, can you say this person's floppy? I mean, that's what you're kind of suggesting. They're not presentable.
I think you can tell a lot from the person's background. If I see their undergarments laying on the bed while they're in a Zoom interview, kind of tells you
Idiot is
how,
going to do that. Okay, well, let's say they have their cereal bowl and their bed in the background. Okay, they're not going to do that at work, are they? I mean, is that relevant?
tells you lack of details, right? Tells you that you're
No.
not really, what?
I would agree with that because see, a lot of people work from a single bedroom house in some cases. So yeah, they will work from
So
the.
they're going to do it
Yeah,
with
but-
you, and they're going to
but-
do it with.
Put some stuff
Yeah,
away.
but to
That's all I'm
Priyanka's,
saying.
yeah, but to Priyanka's point there, if you know that you're going to be working online, you're going to be on video, it only makes sense to get a backdrop. Like this isn't a green screen. I haven't put it up today, but this is just a backdrop because you don't need to see my living room. You don't need to see my
True.
garments in the back. And if I'm presenting
Right.
professionally, you need to see what I want you to see. The same goes
Yeah.
with recruiting.
So you're criticizing indirectly Mario, right? He should not have that dull beige
He-
background there. He should have
No,
a nice
that's
bookshelf.
fine.
He
As long
looks-
as we don't see his
like,
boxers.
Honestly, Mario looks like he's in a detention center right now. Like it's
Thank you. I consider myself in jail.
What detention center do you know that has like a desk and outlets and stuff? Like, where have you been?
See.
I
Okay.
agree
Just to
with that,
clarify,
Walter.
just to put it in context, I'm shifting to a different house in 3 months, and I'm getting my personal office set up there. So I just don't want to blow money and fix things up here.
No.
That's a fact.
You just have to. You think I'm out on the prairies? I've got a picture, okay? I've got a picture. So
Yeah,
it lets you put up
exactly.
your background. Look, Michael G. Cox has a Mexican flag, okay?
Yeah,
Buenos
Michael G.
dias.
Michael G. Cox, you've got the deciding word on this. If your
Yes.
client, you're setting up an interview, your client expects to talk to your candidate on Zoom, can't you just tell the client, look, just get on the phone. It's a lot easier. Does it make sense? Michael G.
Yes,
Cox?
yes.
And you're in sales. Why? Why do you support that?
It's so much easier to just have a phone call. I do have one client though. Hey, to each their own. I got one client and they're paying me very nicely. So whenever they want to do a Zoom, which is almost always, I'm on Zoom. Even when I'm down here in Mexico.
Not you, between the client and the candidate.
Whatever they want, dude.
Okay, but would you ever say to the client, let me repeat it again, Miss Client, no, don't get on Zoom, just pick up the phone. It's just as good and it's a lot easier. Would you do that?
Yeah, I would make the suggestion, but
Okay, but you wouldn't press it. What,
No.
what does everybody think of Ivan's? He looks like he's in the middle of a billboard on the side of the highway. Anybody
He looks
like
he's
that?
trapped in a
Try it out.
I actually like
I
that.
think it's wonderful.
he looks like a
It's
pop-up.
innovative.
I can't
He's-
read
Ivan,
what
can
it
you
says.
show me how to do that from my screen, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, here's a situation. The hiring manager calls the candidate from, so you're the recruiter. The hiring manager calls the candidate from his cell phone for their phone interview. It's on a phone. And now the candidate keeps texting the hiring manager, let's skip the recruiter and work together. What would you do? Anybody?
Slash some
What would
tires.
we do as a recruiter?
Yeah, what would you do as a recruiter? Your candidate's trying to go behind your back. I mean, it's
It's never
Please
happened.
go ahead.
Ew, I don't know.
No
I've only
problem,
been
go
in this
ahead.
for a little
Start
while.
up. The agreement, the invoice will come in 30 days. If the recruiter doesn't, the candidate doesn't know that.
I don't understand you.
I'm sorry. What I said was, I hope the mic works. Okay. What I said was, please go ahead and do what you want. I'm okay with it. My agreement is tight.
Yeah, but your agreement, if you haven't sent their details over, your agreement won't cover that. So you'll get screwed. So
No, you have to send the agreement details over. Then only they meet with the
No, but-
candidate and the hiring manager, right?
he's saying you haven't sent their details. You've just mentioned it, right?
No. You
Yeah,
already
so-
set up an interview, so presumably
Oh,
you've
then
sent
it
the
doesn't-
resume
then it doesn't
first.
matter.
Yeah, knock yourself out, man.
Yeah.
Do my work for me.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
still invoice the
exactly.
client though, right?
Yeah, I guess
Oh,
so,
yeah.
yeah. So
Okay.
I guess, first of all, this is a real story from Facebook. The
What
person-
year was that?
Uh,
It was an old story, wasn't it? This
like
happens
last
never.
week or something. Come on. Now, here's the thing. That client was a good client because how else would the recruiter have figured out what was going on? The
Yeah,
client
not call.
the client got back to the recruiter and said, your candidate's trying to cheat you, okay? So that was the safety there. Okay, nobody else wants it. It's just not a concern, okay? As long as you can trust your client, you don't care if the candidate's a cheater. Am I hearing everybody right?
Sure.
Yeah, it's a non-issue, dude. It
Yeah.
never happens.
Hi, Ernie, foodindustryrecruiter.com. Oh, Michael G. Cox is thesalesrecruiter.com. Thesalesrecruiter.com. Okay, hey, here's something. I'd like to send a past candidate a $2,000 bonus for a referral fee, okay? For turning, he gave me a referral, turned into big revenue for me. I don't know how to send the money. I don't want to send a check. Okay, that's nice that the recruiter wants to send $2,000. How should that money be? That's a good question. I think
You should Google how to send the money.
Yeah. Apple
Okay,
Pay,
the thing
Venmo.
is, you don't want it to
Venmo,
be
bro.
taxable.
Just
You don't want to
Venmo,
send it
yeah.
taxable.
Options today.
Zelle,
What?
Zelle the money.
Okay, but will it be taxable then? Is that
Not your concern.
How about
not- yeah,
Walmart
it's not your
gift
problem.
cards?
You're
well?
not getting
That's it.
invoiced for it. It's a
Someone
referral.
suggested a Visa gift card.
Yeah,
I
dude.
thought that was a great idea.
Uncle Sam makes up enough money off of me.
Who makes up these questions?
The recruiting
No
animal.
issues, okay. I might have got it off your group because I went there this morning, okay, to see what people were talking about. So, come on, somebody else good. Who wants to raise their own issue? It's a round table. Come on, you guys, come up with. You got some? Okay, Priya.
I just want to say hi to Ernie. Hi, Ernie.
And
That's all
I want to
got.
say hi to Ernie's ceiling.
Everybody hasn't said hi to me, I'm Ernie.
Ernie's got the beige background, but he's not showing us the ceiling today. Okay. You're still in Mexico, Mike. Are you on vacation down there or what?
The family's on vacation. I'm not on vacation.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a
I'm working.
question.
Yeah.
That's a question. Ivan had a question. If you're a solo recruiter, how do you take a vacation? That's your question, right?
I got
Hey,
the
I-
answer. I got the
I'd
answer.
love to know the answer to that.
Tualta,
the answer.
Tualta.
You do my mastermind program, and I'll get you a team of VAs that will do your work for you.
Okay, yeah, that's an interesting thing. Oh,
That's a
they can
nice
act-
plug.
So somebody in
It's
Eastern Europe,
tempting.
your wife goes to Upwork and hires.
Don't be giving me secrets away.
She so and told us. Okay, sorry.
Hey, dude,
I'll
I
never
know
let
all the
her on the
secrets
air
and I
again.
still haven't done it. Come on.
Okay. But anyway, so hold on. What you're saying is there's no function that you perform that you can't give to somebody in a third world or second world country. Is that what you're saying?
Are you calling Eastern Europe the third world?
Second world, I said. Come on, we're the first world. They're the
Romania's in
second
the-
world.
You're the first one.
Yeah, I'm in the first world. Everybody wants to come here.
Where's
Sorry.
Freaking awkward.
Mario?
I don't.
Where Per Mario's in a detention center somewhere.
He's in Guantanamo. Okay. Okay.
Probably might end up there.
Okay, so hold on. I got to tell you, that was a good answer. Get a virtual assistant, let them
Yeah.
do your work for you. But I was under the impression that they do mindless work or something really
Well,
simple.
no, you
Wow,
can
rude.
train them up to do 90% of it. And I think we've only been at a point where our VA is strong enough now that she's a recruiter that I could take time off. But before that, she could do most of it, and then I would just take the odd call while I'm away and then give her instructions.
Okay, so you've actually got more than one. You're not really a solo recruiter anymore.
Not
That's
anymore.
your solution. Okay,
Not anymore.
that's
no.
your solution.
But I was.
I've gone on vacation for up to 6 weeks, and I
I'm
drive
on
from
week 6 right now.
I drive from Chicago to California and 3 days on the road, and I just have my phone hooked up to the car, and when they call, you answer, and you tell people you're going on vacation. And
No VA needed.
but you gotta remember too, the hiring managers, the internal recruiters, they go on vacation, they screw up your week, so you just tell them, hey, I got my orders on hold right now, and this is what I'm doing. But you know what?
Yeah,
Every time I've gone on vacation, I've made a placement, and
Because
Kinda
you
like-
haven't been on vacation, you've been on the phone the whole time.
No, you're not on the phone the whole time. I mean, you control it. You're in charge of what you do. But you're not on the phone making calls to candidates. You may when you settle down and get wherever you're going to go. But you're in different environments. You run it like Michael's doing right now. He's there, he's working, but he's around the family, and
Somebody's
later
gotta
on
pay
in the
for this.
day or whatever, whenever he wants, he takes off and the family's going to go on a trip or they go sightseeing. He's going with them. He ain't staying home. He's not working the same way.
No, that's what we did for our first 2 years in business. We were in Guatemala, living a good life, doing all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Before
you gotta,
kids come and you need to
but
make more money.
you gotta be in control of it too, just like they are. When I have a client right now who's you can't schedule anything because the hiring manager is going on vacation for a week, and next week the recruiter is going on vacation. So what the heck do? You sit back. So sometimes you gotta take that same approach, because they don't care about you.
No, but
So
they're
you
getting a check. They're getting a weekly check and you're not. Dualta, I want to come
Yeah.
back to something you said, just to clarify this. So it sounds like your virtual assistant, and he's got very deep expertise, everybody, in this. It's not just like, do what I said. He knows how to handle these people. You're bringing this person up to the level where you can trust her to speak to your clients. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. In sales recruitment, speaking to the clients isn't always the hardest. It's to be able to pitch the candidates in the right way and to really make them buy into you. And that's the bit of the puzzle that's taken her so long to get. But every other piece, no problem. I mean, you can train somebody how to take a job brief and how to do all of that. But that bit of magic where you're doing your needs analysis and knowing when to pitch and how to influence, that's very, very hard. And it takes a long time to build it up. But she's been with us for 4 years. So she gets that now.
Hold on. I was going to ask Priya if her husband would get mad at her if she was taking calls on the phone. But so just let me bookmark something. I want to come back to what you just said. It's very, very hard. I don't know exactly what you're talking about. Think about that for a minute. And I want to come back to it because you're talking about the great skill involved in making a good presentation. And I didn't think it was that hard. Priya, is your husband very flexible? Are you the boss there, or what's the story?
With me working on vacations?
Yeah.
No, it's a no-go.
It's
No,
a no-go.
you plug out. Yeah. I mean, I'll work from my phone. I won't
but you've got a
necessarily,
partner. You've got a partner, but she doesn't do your end of the business, right?
but she knows how. Like recently she
Okay.
took time off and I took things off her plate. So yeah, we just kind of bounce off of each other. It works out.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to comment on that vacation stuff, or do I go back to the presentation thing with Dualta? Anybody?
Wait, I have a
No?
question for Dualta.
Go ahead.
So Dualta, if I'm understanding your business model correctly, the VAs are your products?
No, they're
So
my
what-
facilitation of the business.
Okay.
So you would call them your researcher.
What do you do?
I've got 3 different things. One, we've an IT sales recruitment business, and I have somebody who sits at the top of that tree in Ireland, and she's a very experienced recruiter. I've got a rec-to-rec business. And that was the one that me and my wife set up.
Rec is recruiting recruiters, just in case someone's new.
And
okay?
in that business, I've got a principal recruiter that was a VA that can step into my shoes. And then we have a consulting business where we've been coaching 60 different independent recruiters how to scale their practices using
That's
different.
Recruiters Mastermind. We'll let you do a plug,
No.
right?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
well, hold
right.
on a second. Priya raised a good question. You've got so much expertise with hiring and cultivating virtual assistants. Why don't you make that part of your business? It seems there's a lot of recruiters who would like to know you're very present. People know you. They feel they have a relationship with you just by seeing you on Facebook all the time. I think they'd really like, finding out, people through you. Am I wrong? Isn't that an obvious market opportunity for you?
So we do it. It's a pain in the arse. The margins are small, and it's
okay.
Yeah.
And anybody else got a question? Want to raise it? But anybody else want to raise an issue? Anybody? No? Okay.
Not with this topic, no.
Okay. Here's another one. I took these are fresh off the Facebook. My candidate went for the second interview and met with the owner of the company. It was just supposed to be a rubber stamp thing. But he told her at the meeting that a full vaccination is a must for the role, and my candidate will not get vaccinated. To me, it
Get a new
seemed like
candidate.
what?
Get a new candidate.
Well, that's easier said than done. Okay.
Well,
To
is the
me,
candidate okay with getting tested every 2 weeks?
the
What's the
company
use of
wants
getting tested every 2
vaccination.
weeks?
What?
What?
It's
What's the
it's
use
the
of getting tested every 2 weeks? You're anyway going
Yeah.
to contract the damn thing and come and infect everyone else in the office. I bet that's a
but
fool
but at
over
least
there,
they'll
man.
know it came from
Not my
you.
candidate.
Anybody?
Well, no, because that's what my clients are saying. If you're not vaccinated and you don't want to get vaccinated, then you just get very, very frequently tested.
Okay, my
Yeah, they
take
should
is
actually, you know what? How they should test? They should jab a needle into you and take your blood out and test. That's the best way to test people.
you got a big echo today. Is it just okay? Oh,
So would
I
you
have
if
to-
you were in a
understand you.
detention center?
what?
So would you if you were locked in a detention center?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I'm okay with it.
I think the moral of that story is when you're talking to your doing your intake sessions these days, you have to ask right at the start, are there any health issues? Now, if you're talking to a hiring manager who says no, nothing, and then you never know if the owner, like in this case, is going to raise something at the last minute. But it really makes sense at this time to say, hey, do we have to know anything about vaccinations or testing or anything like that right at the start? Maybe you do that, Priya, because you're in the health field. But do
Right.
people
But-
are
You know, a lot of times, whenever the president interviews, it's like a loose cannon. Nobody has control over that person, and they will say what they want, when they want, and how they want it. It's their company, and they will throw out things, whether it's the vaccination or just say things and questions that they shouldn't say. But a lot of times they aren't trained to interview, and they'll set the rules and just say everybody else likes them. They'll say, I don't like this candidate. Why?
It's
I don't
our
know.
job to just pre-qualify the client and pre-qualify the candidate. So if the client's saying they need to be vaccinated, we need to bring that up in the conversation before we present.
And then that's exactly right. I mean, you can do that, but a lot of times what I'm talking about is the actual president coming into the scene and interviewing somebody. That's where it could change and the rules change, and they're in control and they're the boss and they're going to set the rules.
so the
and a lot-
president
and-
is someone senior is a loose cannon. Anybody else have an experience with that they want to share? Mental case
Not
boss?
if it's recording. No.
You want to name names?
No.
I often read, to my surprise, people complaining that they send a candidate out for the interview and the interviewers ask all kinds of illegal questions.
Happens all the time in my world.
Oh my God. Yes.
All the time.
Like what?
Yep.
Give some examples. Are you married?
Like
Is that what they have?
Probing into mental health history, probing into
Health history. Yeah,
yeah.
I have a candidate that had recently gone over had a heart surgery, and they just started delving into that, and then tried saying, no, we're not interested in this individual because person might not be around for more than 2 years. I was like, bro, even if they died in 2 years, your turnover happens at like the 7-month mark. You'd be lucky if you had somebody around for 2 years.
And you haven't even been around for 2 years.
Exactly. Get out of here.
Okay, let me welcome Andre. Your first time caller, right? Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. I'm Andres. I'm calling from Reykjavik. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller.
Okay, great. Reykjavik is in Iceland for all you ignoramuses out there, okay? Okay.
I thought it was in Washington.
Okay, but wait a second. Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say. Okay, it was about those. What about Michael G. Cox and everybody who's got tons of experience already with these morons who are asking illegal questions, and they're not professionals in the field, so maybe that's excusable. Does anybody ever send out a document ahead of the interview and say, don't ask about these things, or say, I want to give you a little coaching before you get speaking to the candidate? Does anybody prep the client? Anybody?
Not on that. I don't
No,
tell the client not to be a dickhead, but I
yeah.
will coach them on, hey, if you want to get this person across the line, here's where their pain points are. Here's what you need to do. But I assume that they're not going to be a lunatic. It's just there's so many crazy people out there. You've no control. So sometimes they just ask mad
Yeah,
stuff.
but it's not even in crazy. I mean, yeah, it's normal to talk to somebody about their family, you know, and things like
Well,
that.
I had a client who brought up the age factor. And so after the interview, obviously my candidate was very, very disturbed and uncomfortable. So I quite tactfully thought, let me just coach this client. He
Mhm.
got super defensive. And at that time, you just kind of know this person's character. And I just dropped him as a client. So it's really, I don't really want to invest all my bandwidth in coaching clients and candidates. Come on.
No drama.
No drama. You're hiring.
No,
You should really get it together by now.
And
That's
you
a
know, a lot of
nice-
times too, what happens is you have that one individual that's a hiring manager that you're talking to, and then they have that 3 or 4 other people that join the interview process, and that's usually where your mess comes in, and you never really talk to those folks. It's when you have a group of 5 people that all of a sudden, when they're doing an
You know
on-site
what?
visit,
That reminds me of the guy from the CEO of Greenhouse. His brother's a famous political journalist in the States. He came on. He was a great interview, and he said corporate hiring is a shambles. The IT, they bring a person in. Thanks, Michael G. Cox, for freaking me out. Okay, they bring a person in, and at the last minute, once the person is on site, they start hauling people in to interview him or her. Totally unprepared. They ask ridiculous questions. And that's why he liked, you know, with his ATS Greenhouse, they gave you a protocol to follow, right? That did that.
I've helped a few clients with, setting up questions for first interview, second interview, third interview, or first interview.
Okay,
second
but
interview,
should
then
you be
final
proactive
interview.
about that? Should you be proactive about that and say, listen, I'm going to coach you? At least you want me to do some coaching for you? It should be proactive.
I've mentioned it. Most people don't take me up on it though.
But how do you even approach it? Like most clients I know would just get really offended.
and you know,
What
the
I
HR,
usually say
the
is,
HR
hey,
department will get offended as well sometimes.
Yeah, the HR
That's their job.
gets
That's their
really
job.
upset about it. Folks will usually decline, but I'll say something like, so I'm going to do the first and second screen. I'm going to talk to them a couple times, make sure they're ready. I'll send you my interview notes. Do you need to know, what to ask in your first, second, and final interview so that we can wrap this up quickly and make sure we're not stepping all over each other and asking the same questions over and over again? It rarely happens where somebody will say, yeah, sure.
Right.
Ivan, are you just too polite to talk, or do you if someone's quiet, they have the right, but I'll give them an opportunity if they're just too polite. Do you want to say anything?
I think I had once like really like a company asking like literally for 5 rounds the same questions, like tell me about yourself and stuff. And with this client,
brutal.
I actually asked to like be on the call, so it was also Zoom and stuff. And this was the nice hiring manager. He said, yeah, you can be on all the basically, yeah, almost all the calls. This would be a question to you guys. Do you ever ask like a hiring manager, especially now in digital times? It's quite actually easy, to just be there also to listen what actually the client really wants. And like I really love to do that, to get to know the client better and the candidate better. And I had still this situation where the client literally, it was like 4 rounds and it was literally the same questions, always the same questions. And like it was quite, and I had a hard time then to educate my client, because I don't want to this criticizing, and this is like uncomfortable. So
But that's where
Anybody
the
else?
bandwidth comes in, right? Like,
Yeah.
wait, can you
No,
can
go
you guys
ahead.
hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Because you just cut me off. So that's where the bandwidth comes in, right? Like you sat through 4 rounds of interview. You know what the wrong part of the interview process was, but you still couldn't convey that message over to the client. So why waste your time if you're not even going to fix the problem?
How many other people get involved and sit in on the interviews? Well, Andres, is it Andres? Is that how you say it? Not it.
Yeah.
Do you want to contribute your first time?
Thanks. Yeah. We usually sit on at least half of the interviews that are performed in any one process.
And how do you do that? I mean, how do you, like, Ivan didn't do it till they were screwing up, right? So he said, look, let me sit in.
No, it was not till they're screwing up. I always ask like new clients if this is a possibility to be
okay.
on.
That takes a lot of time, maybe out of your, but maybe it's worth it. Anyway, back to Andres on that. How do you approach it to begin with? The same way he did?
I'm not sure actually what he said, but to address the general question is that my experience that our expertise is really respected by our clients and our hiring managers, and they welcome like all input on the process, what questions to ask, and so it's a consulting gig all along for us, but we are retained, almost fully retained hiring.
Okay, so you have the gravitas of a consulting firm, which I don't. Okay, just nobody thinks of me as a consultant.
I don't want to put a lipstick on the pig here in Iceland. We're still battling really low fees, so we're trying to raise those higher.
Oh, okay. So you don't have that much gravitas.
Respect.
Okay.
What is the low fee?
So we're doing 12%, 8 to 12%. We're trying to do 15%. Our rate is 15% of yearly salary with the whole package, but we're going all the way down to 8.
Yeah, if you're charging a low fee, say, look, we're running the show my way, okay? That's the trade-off. No low fee, and you do what you want.
Dualta may want to start focusing his recruiting efforts for his rec-to-rec business in Reykjavik. Pick up some recruiters that are really easy.
Yeah, some good remote recruiters out there. Anybody got an issue they want to raise, or should I go on? Anybody else?
So what would be the difference between, let's say, a field with like low fees and high fees? Like we heard last time, I think in Tokyo for some roles there are 30% fees.
100% fee also.
Competition is the difference normally, and
maturity.
In Iceland, it would be like Australia. It's a closed marketplace, so you don't have people coming in from the outside. So they're all mates with their clients, and then that means the clients just drive them down and down on price.
Hold on, you mean you're in a little island like Iceland, and you're not recruiting in Europe as well? I thought it was a landing spot for Europe, that they have call centers in places like that because they're
little island.
Little island, with a bunch of volcanoes. There's nothing there. Okay.
Andres, you speak Danish, right? In Iceland, is that right?
We studied in school, but no, we don't really speak it that well.
No, okay, because the fees are twice that in Denmark, right? So
English.
Also in Norway. I actually, when I started up like 8 years ago with my recruiting business, which is only part of my consulting company, we were in talks with Corn Ferry International about being have a affiliation with them, and what they said, they were just opening up Morocco and Russia at the time, and they said that they always start out with a fee structure of 15% of yearly compensation, and then they try to pull it up to 30, and in the top markets he claimed they could go 40-45 of yearly compensation. I'm not sure where they do that, but so he said you have to educate the market, and it takes a few years before they.
How are you going to educate them from 15 up to 40? Good luck. Okay.
Yeah, it's daunting.
Okay, but if you extend, there's no reason why you couldn't be recruiting in the United States or Switzerland or Germany or anything like that. At least that's my guess. Okay.
Or Canada.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, thanks. Okay.
But, Bernie, one small thing. I think Canada is a way more complicated market to recruit in, if I'm correct. You need to get a license.
No, you don't.
That's from my knowledge.
Your knowledge is wrong, okay? And
thank you. I appreciate the lead.
There's 10 provinces here, okay? So so they might all have different rules. And I know Maureen, who lives in Cincinnati, she does sourcing in Quebec, where they're very touchy about the French language, right? She doesn't seem to have a problem, which I find impressive. So let me say, okay, here's the problem. Our candidate accepted the job. 3 weeks later, HR cancels the offer because he tested positive for THC, which is the active ingredient in marijuana. Okay. The thing is, in his final interview, they warned him that they would be testing in the next few weeks. So that should have given him enough time to not use anything for a reasonable period of time. But obviously he didn't get involved. To me, the moral of the story is tell the candidate to wait, just in case, to wait until the background check. We don't have those drug tests here, but in the States, they sound like they're quite regular. Does anyone tell their candidate, hey, look, I'm not really interested in your drug life, but if you use, don't use it during the hiring process. Does anybody do that?
Yep.
Yeah, tell us how you raise the issue.
Literally like that. But plus it's legal in California, so we just don't test for THC. Of course, we ask the client first.
For non-federal jobs
Right.
Yeah.
or organizations that have federal contracts.
So
Yeah.
first of all, do you ask the client, are they going to be drug testing for this candidate? And then with the candidate say, look, get off of it, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Dude,
no, even if the
here in the
client,
United States, we had an
You're man
Olympic
talking over her,
athlete.
okay? You are man talking over her. Let
That's
her,
true.
let her
Okay.
talk here. I don't want to get accused
I don't have
of
anything important to say.
Okay, Michael G. Cox,
I lost
go
my train
ahead.
of thought. What was I saying? Oh no, so drug test is it's the norm, right? Like I don't want to send a cokehead or someone to work as a nurse. Like, don't do it.
I wouldn't have
Um,
many candidates if they
Oh,
drug
really?
tested us. with
Oh, really?
recruiters.
What?
London recruitment, are you for real? Have you watched The Wolf of Wall Street?
I have
Oh,
not.
Okay.
Okay.
didn't like it.
So
I didn't
Priya,
get it.
you need to
anyway,
check that movie out.
Michael G.
Trust me,
Cox,
it's an
who's
awesome
calling
movie.
from
Yeah.
Macho Mexico, wants to say something. Go ahead.
Oh, so you would think that people would be smart enough to lay off in this conversation, the weed for a certain period of time because you're going to have a drug test coming up. We had an Olympic athlete that missed out on the
mother
Olympics
died.
because she
See, that was
tested
her
positive
excuse.
for THC.
Her mother died. She says she was stressed out. Yeah, I was surprised too. Where was her head?
but
Bro,
what
She's
if
only-
it's medicinal?
Wait for 4 years then. Guess what?
Yeah,
You missed it.
yeah. Yeah, she's only 21 years old. Maybe that's the excuse. Okay.
Okay, but what if it's prescribed? That should be okay,
Well,
right?
it's just not
No,
allowed.
that-
Okay.
Yeah, there was
The
a case on the
prescription
Facebook groups, right?
in most
Animal?
states, the prescription isn't going to overrule the federal government.
Yeah.
True.
To
true.
catch up.
Mario,
Yeah.
what do you want to say?
No, I said there was a case in the group where the same thing happened, right? Not it's the other recent one. I'm talking a few months back or a year back, if I'm correct.
My memory's not as good as yours, but I'm sure it has happened in the past year to more than one person. So that's why I raised the issue. Okay, here's one. This guy's candidate, I interviewed a good candidate who kept talking about God. God has led the path for me achieving my goals. God is at the center of every decision I make. And the guy knows from Facebook that his hiring manager is an atheist. Should he say anything?
He's gonna try and convert the hiring manager.
Wait, did the recruiter know about this before?
The recruiter's on the phone. Did he know about that the hiring manager is an atheist? Maybe.
That this guy was going to
Probably.
mention that often?
No. It's in his own, the recruiter's screening of the
First level
candidate. The
screening.
candidate keeps bringing it up, okay?
Okay.
And so should he tell the candidate before the interview, should he put him forward? That's number one. And if so, should he warn the hiring manager or should he warn the candidate? Don't talk about religion.
Candidate. The candidate.
Okay.
Coach your candidate.
If the
But,
candidate talks about religion with the recruiter so freely, God is doing this for me, you think?
I get it.
You think she's not going to do it in the rest of her life? She'll do it every day. That's how she talks.
I would say prep both.
So you would still put them together.
I would do it intelligently. I would prep them both. Yes.
Okay. Anybody would.
I'm not big on
anybody-
prepping clients, but I would prep the candidate.
I'll prep the
with a
candidate, a
justification.
client, and say, hey, this person has another level of screening his or her own thoughts and actions, and it happens to be a higher being that this person believes in. Prepare yourself to hear about that.
If you're anyway on the call with like the client, then like this Michael J. Cox mentions, a very like skillful way actually to solve the situation, like to soften the situation potentially. So that's smart.
You would go.
Michael,
I wouldn't prep the client. I'd prep the candidate and say, look, do you really want the job? And if you really want the job, this is the situation. And this is what you need to do. And from what I'm hearing of what you're telling me, this is where you need to tone it down if you really want the job. If not, hey, go for it and say what you want to say. But that's up to you. But I'd like you to get the job.
Muriel.
Right.
Michael G. Cox, that was hilarious. Okay, but to prove a point here,
It would work.
no, that in a good way. Okay, the thing is people who are extremely religious will double down on their points. Okay, so even if you educate them, they're not going to listen to you.
Well, you still got to do your part, right? Do your part,
Look,
and then
it would
it's in
work.
God's hands.
There you go.
God,
It-
give them paycheck.
God, no.
It would work a whole lot better down here in the Bible Belt. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, you're in
you know,
Mexico.
the-
That's
come on.
But the
That's right.
reality of it is, this one company probably doesn't have just 2 employees, the hiring manager and the candidate. It has a lot of employees, and there's a lot of religious people and non-religious people in
Yeah,
that company.
I've heard a number of times
Yeah.
that somebody in the southern United States gets hired and there's a prayer session first thing in the morning. Everybody
Oh, yeah.
prays. If this person is not, and that other person's the new person's an atheist or they're not religious. If they don't want to participate, it really doesn't work out in the long term. I see a culture clash here that's not gonna pan out.
But there's also a culture clash when you got a Southern company that doesn't want to hire a Northerner or a Yankee, as
really?
they call them.
Really? They've got, is that legal? Is that
We
No,
got a
they
thing
did-
against
they did. I've
Canadians
heard
here in
it.
Texas.
Oh yeah, it sounds like a Yankee. We want somebody that knows the culture of the
Oh,
South.
he sounds like a Canadian.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, conversational interview, okay? Some people think they're the best, and other people say, hey, they are lousy, and you need a structured interview. And I guess, really, that's right. Let's go around quickly, starting with Dualta. We'll go clockwise. Structured or conversational interview?
Structured.
So that
But-
means you've
but-
written out the questions.
No, you have a format, you do it conversationally, but you know that you're going to do the chit chat, get into some, hey, here's what I'm going to do. Going to ask you a few questions. We'll get through that, and then I'll discuss what I'm going to do with you and the client. So, and you just go through it in a nice conversational manner, and you get all your information. Ideally, record it on Zoom so you don't have to take notes, and somebody else can transcribe that for you and put it in your database. and
Okay,
send it out.
but here's the other issue. We all know that.
Would
that
that
lots of
somebody be a
companies-
VA, perhaps?
We all know that companies are really bad with, just like Ivan said, asking the same questions again and again. They if they're having a team, they don't
So who are you talking
organize
about? Are you
it.
talking about the company, or are you talking about us as recruiters? They're 2 different things.
I was thinking of the company. I know you were talking about the recruiters. Okay. So
Oh.
again, this is with coaching the company. Some people like having a chit chat. I want to get to know the person. But anyway, well, maybe this isn't that interesting. I think it's a big deal. Structured interviews. People like conversations. They need structure. Anybody? Who else wants to? Anybody want to get into this? Do you advise your clients? This is how you should be running an interview. Anybody?
Well,
And-
yeah, I try and advise mine just because they get too excited by
On
somebody.
this issue, structured.
Yeah, like I'd like them to get down to the details with them rather than getting excited about what they've done in the past. So, and usually, if they could.
Does
how do they-
anybody tell anybody else? It doesn't
Okay.
sound like unless you sit in, nobody has control over the
No.
clients. Does
You don't
anybody?
have control over the client.
You ain't
However,
got control over
with
shit.
the
Come on,
candidate,
deal
with
with
the
it.
candidate, what you can do is you can coach them. And what I tell the candidate is that every job that's open, there's a problem. If you hire the right person, that problem is going to be fixed. Your job in the interview is to uncover what the problems are that need to be fixed. And you ask that by asking a question like, tell me 3 things that you need me to accomplish in the first 90 days. They then tell you that, and you wait for all 3. and then you talk your background to those three, so that in essence you're controlling the interview. And at the end of the interview, you tell the client, is there anything we talked about that would make you think that I'm not qualified for this position? Because that's your last chance to do a rebuttal on something that they may not have even asked you.
Ernie's got
Make it
such
way
a
too much
nice
sense
way,
for this
okay?
show.
He makes me
Ernie,
feel
that's
relaxed,
so-
okay?
That's
so
That's
amazing.
that's a good way.
Ernie
Yeah.
is like a human yoga.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
Yoda.
Yoda. I won't be surprised if suddenly a lightsaber comes out of his hand like this.
Okay, so nobody says, really, these are the questions. Here's 10 or 20 questions. This is what the format you should follow for the interview. You can chit chat, but that's not the focus. You don't really want to have a conversation. It feels good, but it's not good for business. Okay, isn't that something you have to tell them?
Yeah, but it just depends on what the conversation is. Do you want to talk about the football games? Do you want to talk about the job? And if the job goes
also-
into it and you have a good conversation that's job related, then it works. But if you're talking about, hey, we went to the same high school, you're not going to get the job.
It also depends on the level of the interview, don't you think?
What?
It also depends on the level of the interview.
Yes, and many other
understand them.
factors.
Is it me? Oh,
Level of the interview.
The level of
okay.
the
I don't know
interview.
what that-
Yeah. Sorry,
Oh,
my
okay.
the foam on my headset fell apart, so it keeps slipping down in my ears, and I blame you guys for not being loud enough.
Because when you look
We're
at
gonna take up a
final
collection.
level interview with the manager, who's gonna, have a, how do I say, have a higher level discussion with the candidate. I think a conversation will be more useful than a.
I always
constructive,
liked it when
structured
they go
discussion.
out and they know the mutual people and they talk and blah, blah, but that's apparently not the best thing. Now, Ernie just said something that is supposedly, from what I hear, completely wrong. He said, oh, you don't want them talking about the school you went to. Everybody's saying that's what they do. That's what they like. That's why they'll hire you, because you went to the same stupid school, right? And you'll rule out all the diverse candidates who didn't go to the same school as you. So yes,
it
you want to
helps.
find
Well,
commonality.
then you, as a recruiter, is stuck trying to fill the position in 90 days or less, because just because they went to the same school doesn't guarantee that they can do the job.
Oh, okay.
I
What
always
happened to the good old days of when recruiting was just about finding the candidate and sending them over to the customer? What happened to those days?
Maybe
I don't
it's
know,
never
this
been about
guarantee nonsense. Gosh, it's ruining my life.
that. Okay. Anybody want to talk about some tools they've discovered recently that they think are fantastic and everybody should know about?
We
Okay,
just built
I do.
klng.cc. It's free. You can check it out and you can generate a social media post, and then you can send it to people, for example, in LinkedIn Connects, and then people can actually drop their CV and it will be sent just right
on.
into your
This
inbox.
is-
It's
this is
free.
the feature
What is it? What is it? What?
What?
So, so
Tell
that's a website, klng.cc.
Yeah.
It's a very short link because
Mhm.
then you can share it in a LinkedIn Connect because you only have 300 characters. So this website, over my head, klng.cc, there you can drop in a job description and generate a link that you can use when you source.
Damn, I like this.
It's like Bitly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's free and it's like 100% has $1 million bucks, but you can write me and I'll fix the bugs like in a minute.
Hey, sure, awesome. Okay.
Priya. No, Priya had her hand up. Okay, go ahead.
Oh no, I was giving him a thumbs up.
No,
Like,
no, you
good
said
job.
you wanted to talk
Now you
about
have
a
to say
tool, and
something.
I saw you talking about tools online. Okay, that you like.
Oh, the tools. Okay. So I'm really late to the party. Okay, but I
Still
just
counts.
recently discovered.
At LinkedIn.
I hear Michael's voice and I can't see his face. It's freaking me
I'm
out.
making
Michael
some
is gone
coffee, sorry.
undercover.
He's on the
undercover
toilet.
recruiter.
Michael's on the
Are you
toilet.
Can I talk?
Just go ahead, Priya. Okay, you're the
Thank
only
you.
woman here. I don't want to be accused of running a sexist show. Go ahead.
You called me woman. Like, I'm just so offended by that
Oh,
right now.
okay, yeah,
But anyway.
that's another question about do we have to check pronouns before we set up anything? Go ahead.
Lucia, is it? Or is it Luscia?
Yeah, Lucia. Yeah.
So
Lucia.
totally late to the party. Dude, it's amazing. So anyone
Yeah.
out there who's listening and doesn't use
It's
it,
amazing until you
freaking
run out of credits.
phenomenal.
Okay,
Well,
so people.
It's not that
you-
expensive though. What is it, like $100 a month or something?
For 100 credits, that's costly. You have another tool called the data scraper.
You
that was
sent
mentioned
it
in the
to me.
groups.
I couldn't figure it out. It was not user friendly, or like I'm like
Okay,
very
this is
slow
for
with tech.
finding contact information, right?
Yeah.
You're using
Yeah,
for
and you can
con-
create lists and everything.
Okay,
Search,
so
filter out the
like
employee
Lucia.
number.
You like Lucia,
do.
and what were you suggesting? Datascraper dot what?
The datascraper.com. I'll give it to you. I'll give you. That was a recommendation by Connor Robertson, and I've signed up for it now.
Who recommended it?
In the Herc group, Connor Robertson.
Oh, okay. Never heard of him.
Oh,
Lucy Cox must know him though. Okay. Anybody else? So we
I
got I think you're
I
using
got a really-
Signal Hire as well, right? Didn't you say that, Priya?
I use Signal Hire. Yeah, I really like it, but I like Lucia more.
Lucia better.
One thing also is you should listen to Dean DaCosta on YouTube, and he does a
yeah.
review of different
Okay, but we're
apps.
talking about stuff that you like personally right now.
Well,
I think Dualta was raising
but
his
what I'm
hand.
saying is that is what a way for you to find something that you like as well. Do not forget that YouTube exists, and you could just put in like Dean DaCosta, and he'll tell you of Lucia, and he'll tell you all the rest. But
Well,
for
let
myself,
me trump you. Let me trump you on that. I bought a URL to direct my group members to Dean's archive for sourcing tools, because Dean won't spend $25 on it. It's called sourcingstuff.com. Sourcingstuff.com will take you to his sourcing archive.
Why don't you advertise that? I didn't know about it.
I put it up every once in a while. Okay, sourcingstuff.com, and also the Wizard Sourcer too. But I didn't buy anything for him. Dualta, did you have a tool? Did you raise your hand there? That you wanted to tell us?
Rich Rosen recommended Jarvis AI, which writes copy, and
Yes.
Writes copy?
it
Yeah.
writes your copy, like so it writes your, like, you know, your job ads.
That thing's getting popular.
Yeah, so I got my
Dude.
marketing team to test it out.
Mario
And,
I
sent
was
it to
just
me like at 2 in the morning.
And it's brilliant.
yeah,
What is it?
my
I'm not
marketing
joking.
team
What is
told me
it?
It's kick-ass.
They said it. They
It's
said it's great.
Jarvis.ai.
Jarvis,
Jarvis?
Jarvis.
Yeah.
Jarvis.ai.
I was
That's
going to
from-
talk about it now, just now, and Dualta beat me to
Go
it.
ahead. It's from Trisha Tamkin. She did a video.
Yeah,
webinar
she did
on
a
it.
session on that.
Okay,
And
All
so,
right, well, that's what Rich told me. Yeah.
so go ahead, Mario. You want your chance? Go ahead.
It's literally brilliant. Okay, it rewrites what you want to write, or it'll write it for you. You have to do so. It has a couple of bugs, but it's a great tool worth the money. Okay, I signed up for it for the boss mode, and I'm going to use it for my whole team.
and it's called
So-
Jarvis AI.
Jarvis.ai. Yeah, I'll share the link. Yeah, let me share the link once.
Do you guys have a tool you
Jarvis.ai.
use? Do you guys have a tool you use that like polishes a resume before you submit it to a client?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Microsoft Word.
called Word. We
I
edit.
don't want to do it. I don't want to do it.
I beat
What,
you
what do
to
you
it,
usually
Mario.
polish? What do you usually polish, Priya? What's
Like
the usual
automating,
problem?
you know, I just want to put in the role, like
formatted?
not
That's
even
rough.
format, just add the bullet points, just a
To-
generic,
well,
like what does a
If you
nurse do? Put it in bullet points for me.
Priya,
Yeah,
if you
that's all-
find that,
Jarvis
let me
will do
know.
that for you, Priya.
There's resumewriter.com, but you have to pay for it, and I'm not all about paying for stuff.
Dualta, did you have something for her?
Yeah, you get a VA to do it, but if you want a formatting service, there's a tool called All Sorter that does that.
Is it free?
No,
Okay.
nothing good.
But I'll
comes
check
from
it out.
in this
You know,
world.
but you're not that
Except
cheap.
for the
You just said
recruiting
you don't
animals,
mind
no.
paying for Lucia. You don't mind paying for Lucia. Now you're making yourself look like a cheapskate.
All my money is going into sourcing tools, okay?
Okay.
Gotta stop somewhere.
Okay.
But I will check
you're
out your
stopping at the wrong
recommendation. Can
thing.
you?
Well, let's ask Andre. See, you know, he's here. He's so polite, or maybe he's just not interested and busy working. But if he wants to, do you have a tool that you want to recommend to the rest of the world?
Yeah, I have a couple, and I'm listening intently. I'm not working at all.
No, it's okay. I don't care if you listen or not. People don't have to listen.
By the way,
You beat me up last
Mario
week
just
about it.
put it in the chat, the Jarvis.ai.
Yeah, it popped up.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Dualta, can you put yours as well, the one you were recommending for formatting? That's not free.
All sort or whatever it
No.
is. All sort chocolates. Come on, Andres. Come on. We're
Yeah,
running out of time.
I was looking at the site that the source. What was it called?
Lucia,
No,
Jarvis.
No, the web, the domain
one
you
from Dewey? From Dewey? What
Yeah.
is
So
it?
no, he's talking about your sourcing thing.
Dean DaCosta's
Dean DaCosta,
URL.
man.
Oh, sourcingstuff.com. Okay.
Yeah, and it looks like I don't know what, something from a different decade, but I'm sure it's really useful. But yeah, I have a couple of tools that I like a lot. We use Calendly to schedule screening calls. I don't know if you know it.
Yeah,
Uh,
love it.
Terrible.
Terrible
Check
about
out. Go
Terrible?
to one of the AppSumo sites on Facebook, one of the AppSumo groups on Facebook, and try and get yourself a lifetime deal. You'll pay a couple $100 to book like a boss.
Book like a
Okay.
boss. So
Yeah,
you
it's-
like that better than Calendly?
Oh yeah, tons. It's a lot more expensive, but I paid once for a lifetime deal.
Okay,
And
he's good with those AppSumo deals. AppSumo.
That's no longer
Why
available
can't-
in AppSumo,
I mean,
right?
why can't you
No,
use
it's
the
not.
normal Google Calendar to schedule interviews? What's so difficult about that?
I hate
It
to go back and
coordinates so
forth.
much. Yeah,
It's
unless
important.
you have a VA.
It's important to have a good experience, and I think the people who use it on the other end they like it. But the other one I wanted to recommend is Pipedrive,
Yeah.
which we use for CRM
Yes.
to sell to clients and follow up on leads. And I just find it really intuitive. I love their. Actually, I have one of their.
And they were selling that for $35 or something, right? Lifetime deal.
Seriously?
Yeah, and for us, it's really worth. We have a team of 6, and it's really worth it. It's really a good co-working tool in terms of sales and leads and CRM, and their service. If you take one of their larger offerings, they have extremely good customer
Okay,
service. Best
great.
I ever.
I gotta say something. I admire your audio. It's so nice and clear, Andres. Okay, so let's give everybody a plug.
Ooh, I've got microphone envy.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go around clockwise.
baby.
Wake up, Dualta. Here's your chance to plug your mastermind.
No, hang
group.
on.
What is it?
I just picked up another AppSumo deal on something
He's
that might.
stealing my thunder.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, we'll get to you. Go ahead.
Sorry, we're not supposed to talk over each other.
No, look,
No, you just can't talk over the women, okay? You can't
Dude.
talk over the women, okay? You can talk over the guys.
The
Go ahead.
animals stop being
sexist.
so woke.
Don't be
There
sexist.
are no women anymore, but that's another story. Go ahead. That's
Yeah.
So
Michael G. Cox wants to talk about AppSumo for a second. Go ahead. Spit it
Well,
out.
Dualta was talking.
I give 2
Yeah,
shits,
I'll give him
dude.
his
Don't worry
chance.
about it. He
I'll give
can
him-
recover
For
from
God's sakes,
this.
will everyone stop being so
His
woke?
feelings are
Just
hurt.
woke.
DeWalta's heart will recover from this injury.
Get it out already. What? Michael G. Cox, what do you want to say?
There was it was one that I just purchased that might be replacing like a linked helper and all that stuff. So
What is it?
you can check it. It's called something other. It's like dang it, hang on.
Come on.
okay, it's how you sell it, Mike.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Really
I
good.
live knee or something like that. I'll
Yeah,
put the link
thanks.
in
Yeah,
there.
Dualta.
Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Yeah, push it.
Yeah,
What is
no.
it, Dualta?
All right, here we
Mastermind?
go.
Recruit-
Here-
What do you
Here we
want to
go.
sell?
Right. We are coaching independent recruiters. We have 60 guys that we're coaching at the moment. We take them through a 6-month program. We cover everything from the best technology to your strategic plan, your goal setting, your marketing, all the way through to virtual assistants, building and scaling out your team and your practice with technology systems and people. It's delivered by myself, my wife, everything's recorded, and we interact and we solve your problems in real time. There's sessions every second week. We do individual one-on-ones, and we're a third of the price of the other fuckers out there.
Whoa! And how do they find you?
You find me here. Come find me here. Type in my name to LinkedIn, DUALTA. Connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll get a time for a chat. And if we gel and we think we can help you, we'll help you.
Okay, I think it's called Recruiters Mastermind. I have to say it instead of him. Ernie, food industry recruiter.
DUALTA.
Okay, Dualta. He's the only one. Put it into Google, and he's the only one who'll come up. Food
I'm out of
industry.
here. Mic drop.
Food industry recruiter. .com. Do you have anything else you want to say about yourself?
Find me on LinkedIn. I deal in the food industry. Always able to help you and whenever you want to know.
Who just disappeared? Oh, DeWalter, he got his ad, so he left. Okay, so now Priya's up in the first position. You spell out your website. Spell it, because it's not easy to understand.
Okay, so it's U, the letter U.
Yeah.
KEY.
Yeah.
careersolutions.org.
Holy crap.
I'm going to teach
no,
you
am I
anything
wrong?
on this
Are you
show that it's
serious?
way too long, okay? It's too long.
What do you want me to do? It's already done. The damage is done now.
You
You can't do anything about
You
it.
can change. Don't stay in a rut, okay? Mario R.
I feel like you're really screaming at me right now. I don't know how I feel
What
about
was
it.
it?
Mario R.
Yeah, alexisrecruiting.com.
Spell it, because I didn't get it. It's an E instead of an A. Spell it.
Yeah, it's ELEXIS recruiting.com.
Okay. Andras, you want to push you want to give us your URL or whatever, or plug yourself?
I just want to give anyone who has any ideas out there about competing with us in Iceland, you got to learn Icelandic first. So sign up for that. And
let me ask, do you want to be a guest on the show? I mean, now you've experienced it. Do you want to be a guest?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Say no.
2 weeks. I'm gonna get in touch with you. We have a guest next week.
Lots of yelling.
Okay. TheSalesRecruiter.com. You want to say anything else about yourself, Michael G. Cox?
Oh, okay. So one of the reasons why I left Calendly, and I've tried a few others, but what I like about the ones like Book Like a Boss is that when people book, you can send them to a landing page or a video where you can prep them for what's next. And you can do that for every different type of meeting that you have. So if you're booking a candidate for a specific type of job, sales job, you can tell them this is what we're going to talk about. If it's a client, you're going to tell them about these things. This is what we're going to cover, and you prep them, and it can do that in a messaging sequence, which works from before booking until during booking, after it's all done, even after the interview. So it makes you look a whole lot better.
So it's like an email marketing
cool.
like sequence and around the booking, right?
Yes, and landing pages. I can kind of, I'll put in the chat what it looks like when you first go to mine. I haven't fully set up everything, but you can at least see the landing page for one of my meetings.
And I'll do the ad for our friend in Switzerland. He's a programmer himself. He places programmers. You don't want to give out your company. You want to give out your ATS. Am I right about that?
If you look for a tech job in Switzerland, go on coderfit.com. If you look for an applicant tracking system that is super fast and easy to use, go to clang.so. If you like free stuff, go to klng.cc, because it's an app that will make you share jobs on LinkedIn. Super easy.
Okay.
Much better.
We're finished. Hey, everybody. Thank you.
Hi, guys.